All right, welcome back. We have joining us now Mr. Gerald Ilukwe, who is the Chief Information Officer and Special Advisor on ICT to the Kaduna State Government. Good morning and thank you for coming on today.
Good morning.
Well, the investment summit, well, the theme here towards a sustainable knowledge-based economy, and I reckon ICT will have a huge role to play here. But if you could just start off by giving us, some sort of background concerning, you one with huge experience in the ICT sector, Galaxy Backbone, Microsoft. So from that sector coming into government sector, how's that been in your mindset transitioning to that?
Well, it's not been a difficult transition because, as a matter of fact, the role of IT is an enabler. And IT enables across several sectors. So you're not like disconnecting IT from government. IT enables government and governance. Okay, so personally that's where my passion space lies, to say, okay, how can technology be leveraged to make governance, to improve governance, to enhance government and all the different domains of government that, that we're talking about, whether it's service delivery to the public, to the citizens, or whether it's in social services, education, healthcare, or whether it's in the internal machinery of government, making government more agile, more productive, enhancing record keeping, enhancing decision making. You can't make decisions in a vacuum, which is what we're talking about when we now start referring to the knowledge-driven, so the sustainable knowledge-driven economy. What is knowledge? Knowledge is information. Okay, so if you do not have information, what's the quality of decision making you're going to have? You go from data to information, and information to knowledge. It's simple, but it's
so. Are the people you work with able and in the service able to understand your role as Chief Information Officer, because it could be misconstrued?
Yes, it was initially. There was, my colleague who is the Special Advisor, Media and Communication. People were like, okay, what's this all about? Where do you come in? Where does he come in? There's a commissioner for Business Innovation and Technology. Where do you come in? What's this guy coming to do here? Because I came in after all of them. But with a little bit of time and putting myself about and being involved in different activities, they began to get a sense of what information, meaning information technology, and that this is actually, you don't hear that term very often in the public sector, but this is actually the standard nomenclature for the person who leads the technology efforts of any government or any institution, any enterprise. You can take a look at government as an enterprise in that context.
So since you advise the governor directly on ICT matters, what is the direction of the states for that digital sector?
So the governor, Kaduna is lucky to have a governor like Madam Nasser Rufai, because he's clearly a man that has a vision. And the role of the rest of us is to help him translate that vision into reality. Okay, so because, first of all, people know that he is who he is, a whole lot will come to him. So part of what I do is filter all that comes to him. I try to bring coherence.
What do you mean, a whole lot?
Well, so every other week there's somebody who is offering us a proposal on education or healthcare or this or that. So, we have to put the building blocks in place. Okay, so I advise along those lines that, anything basically that he throws at me, I will have to give him honest advice to the best of my ability, while sometimes being involved in coordinating activities across, tech-related activities across various ministries, departments, and agencies of government. So we do not, because it's one thing to do e-government or to drive ICT for sustainable development. It's another thing to do it efficiently. Okay, so we have to do it efficiently. Sweat as many of our assets as possible. Okay, so there are things that will come and say, no, we already have a relationship with, this is covered by a relationship with Microsoft. Take this out of the BOQ. We don't need to pay for it again because we already have it. I can give him that feedback, or to say, look, these people, it's government. People will try to create turfs and everything to actually take ownership and say, no, this is ours, stay away. But it doesn't work like that. He sets the vision. we have a state digital strategy, which myself and my team developed. Gave it to him, he liked it, he said, bring it to the State Executive Council. So we're working towards a strategy. There is a document that says this is what we have to do, you know, and it cuts across, like I said, all spheres of government and governance, you know, in terms of development. You know, so that's what we work towards.
Right. So if you could just give us insights into that strategy. I mean, you know where you want to get to. So help us see, what are those key points in that digital strategy for Kaduna State? What's the destination?
Okay, so I'll give you one. I'll give you maybe one, I'll give you three. So first of all, not 1, 3, yeah. We want to be able to, that by the end of next year, yeah, which is 15 months away from now, have total network coverage, not 2G, minimum 3G, so you can have data across the entire state, okay? We're working with partners, okay? And in some areas, some instances, in fact, in most instances, we're actually investing government money. Okay, so that's one.
You mean the whole state?
Yes, the whole
Rural, state. Rural, urban, everywhere.
Served, underserved, you know, everywhere. In Kaduna, our focus is on fiber and true broadband. In the rural areas, we're saying, okay, let's have full coverage, which is, you know, whatever it is, 3G, LTE, and all that. But yes, that is the coverage. So in Kaduna, all things being equal, by this time next year, all government institutions will have a fiber link-up. We have a strong partnership that we're just building up with Airtel. Okay, and we've had other partnerships in the past that we feel that working with a mobile network operator, MNO, will actually strengthen because they have the deep pockets to be able to roll out these investments, and we have the commitment. Okay, so that's that. We're driving technology in education. We're making huge investments. We've also gone into a partnership with a technology service provider who has track record in other states, okay, to digitize the operations of all the tertiary institutions. There are 5 state-owned tertiary institutions. Okay, one is in the process of being merged. Okay, but so whether it's the students' activities, they're going to have Wi-Fi in those institutions. The lecturers are going to digitize their material, the instructional material. Everything is happening. It started about a year ago. We've done the first anniversary, where we started implementing a schools management system at secondary level for all the 547 secondary schools in Kaduna. We've done the first phase, which is 181 schools. We've acquired computers for them. We're going to train their teachers. We understand where the challenge is. I mean, that's hopefully what I bring to the table, a bit of experience. You don't just throw computers at people, you know what I mean? We're driving the use of electronic mail and things that people take for granted and say, look, I didn't see it because I lost my password or they didn't activate it for me. We are acculturating the civil service to embrace technology. We're not where we were 2 years ago when I came at the beginning of the second term of His Excellency. So we're driving, it's not going to be easy, but we have a steady direction and we're following it.
Does Kaduna have a foundation, upon which to build a digital economy, since people don't know Kaduna for that ICT hub?
Well, so a digital economy is multifaceted. Okay, for example, you talked about an ICT hub. I think early last month, I believe, we launched an ICT hub and co-working area space, walking distance from here. This was in partnership with BOI, Bank of Industry, and it is state of the art. Okay, we've come together. We are in the process of acquiring or repurposing a parcel of land somewhere towards the middle of town, around Banawa, to build a tech village. Okay, this tech village is going to be more focused on the artisanal elements of technology. Okay, so these are things we're driving. We are in partnership with a few banks and a few other institutions to do some e-commerce online. Now,
by artisanal element of technology, what do you mean precisely?
What I mean is what you would see in Lagos and you call computer village, or in Victoria Island or Sakatunubu and you call it GSM village. Those are like art, because you're not designing really. So in the hub, you design, you're more application driven, you collaborate with people, you use different elements of technology to build out solutions. We hope that the people there will come together and identify problems in government they will help us solve. At the artisanal level, we're able to say that your phone, we're at the foundational stage now. We're hoping to be able to attract people like the Huawei's and the Technos of this world. Come in and build your workshops. Let our people have the skill sets to do these basic things, because they're part of everyday life. But it's not something you go to the university and get a BA or a BSc computer science for. You see what I mean? Yeah, so that's why I call it artisanal, or artisanal technician, as opposed to technologist engineering kind of stuff. Yeah.
You don't have that already, which you can
Well, we have, but these things kind of mushroom. We have one or two here. But like, even in Lagos, okay, the two places in Lagos, the GSM village and the computer village, it's a mushrooming, okay? This guy acquires this building, breaks it up and has 5 shops inside there. People come and pay rent and that and that. We are building an ecosystem within there. We're in partnership with Airtel. Airtel will run fiber there. We're talking to one of the big banks. They will have the right to deploy ATMs and POSs there. It's thought out. Okay, this is what we want to do, and this is how we're going to do it. Okay, and it is within our ability, our power.
You are looking at a situation whereby they will look into government or maybe wherever it is and come up with solutions that will help solve problems more or less. You're not directing them in any area where you think that if they're able to crack something here, it could spell development it could bring maybe unprecedented development to Kaduna.
It's a two-way street. Mm-hmm. We're not waiting for them. If we also have ideas, it's a two-way street, yes. So we'll say, okay, look, can you help us sort this out? Or what are your thoughts here? But the key thing is to be predisposed, okay, to the collaboration and to knowing that, resources are finite. One of the things the government is doing is saying we're going to move our resources more towards building a knowledge-based economy than the traditional budget profile that you will see in the state government. So that's where Kaduna is different. Yeah.
Okay. In terms of the model, do you have a particular model that you're looking at? You say this is the model we are following. My colleague was talking about strategies towards a destination. By the time you finally achieve that knowledge-based economy, do you have a model which you think Kaduna will be looking like?
Can I take that question a different way? Are you asking me what does success look like?
That will be another way of
putting it. All right. So, what we're hoping for, what we're working towards, we're not just hoping. For example, a key building block is identity. Okay, we have countries where we have a partnership with Microsoft, and the country we're modeled ourselves against is Estonia. Okay, Estonia is a small country in terms of population, but it's huge in terms of landmass. Kaduna is big both ways. Kaduna would be a small to medium country, 10 million people, if it was a country of its own. So we recognize that there are parts of this state that are 5 hours away. How do you get access? Okay, the part of the country where I come from, you can go end to end in 3 hours. Okay, but within Kaduna State, where I now come from, you can. There's some places you will not get to in 5 hours. Yeah.
Okay.
So Estonia is our model, and we're also taking elements from other places that we like. We're taking a whole of government approach to this.
All right, and Mr. Gerald Ilugwe is a Chief Information Officer and Special Advisor on ICT to Kaduna State Government. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you.
All right, so just one more lap to go. Kadinvest 6.0. We will be back in a moment. Stay with us.